Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast.
Benvenuti, welcome everyone in a new episode of Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. Today is not that bright Monday, it's a really blue Monday because the results and the performance, Italian franchise, Benetton and Zebre Parma, they were not what we wished, we hoped for. So we're gonna dig into these two games where we have the two Italian teams losing in the round 6 of the United Rugby Championship. But before starting with Benetton, let's start from il buongiorno e il buonasera. Let's start from there. Mike, ciao, come stai?
Ciao. Yeah, I'm okay. How are you doing? You good?
All good. First of all,
In the Christmas spirit, yeah.
Yes, you see, I already put everything on. Everything is on. I already start my advent calendar, my
Nice.
beer advent calendar.
I was going to say, I wouldn't expect anything less, Otto.
Today with a Mandarin AZAPA, but I didn't drink it. I'm gonna storage everything for the weekend. No, I'm gonna storage for the weekend. So I have 5
nice.
beers for the weekend, not 2 and 3,
That's fine.
like that.
Yeah.
And welcome Phantom from York. Man, Samuel Smith Brewery is a really good brewery. But anyway, let's go into everything. Mike, as I said, we should start from Benetton Treviso, and then we're gonna move like chronologically. With Can you say chronologically in English?
Chronologically.
Wow, cronologicamente. Okay, perfetto. Sometimes I forget what I messed up. But let's start with the first defeat of the week. It was Friday night, away from home, really away from home against Ulster. Mike, was a game, two faces game, because in the first half, 12-14. They were
Do you mean we got slapped on both sides of the face? Because I agree.
Slap here, slap there.
Yeah. Otto, like, listen, it's tough, isn't it? Because Ulster are a good team. We've got, out of the 18, we've got 13 players stood down for international duty. Had some good players out though, Otto. That's the problem. Like, it's tough, isn't it? It's a tough lesson to learn. I think McRae learnt a lot that game as well about the team, which is an important but harsh lesson to learn. It's tough, isn't it? Going away anywhere in the URC is tough, but the Italian teams need to be better. Need to be better away from home.
Away from home and after the international window, you have to be a great team in that. In those windows opening, because now this was the round 6 and then we jump into the European games, so it's something different, but we should have been better, both teams. But what do you think Treviso was lacking in this game more than everything? Because of course the score is bad, so we cannot defend that much ourselves after this game, but something that really bothers you.
What bothers me, I think, is there was a little. I think there's a little like misunderstanding on how they were planning on attack. At set piece, you saw quite a lot. Umaga like taking it to the line, and you could see that Paolone Odogu, who was playing centre, was running a fantastic pin line, right? So he was giving option for the short ball every single time. I don't think it went to him once. Every single time went out the back, and they were attacking on the fringe. Paolone was good to tighten the defence, and the one time they did it well, they made 70 yards. That's the one where Rhino Smith joined the line on the edge, and then the pass went. What frustrated me is every time that they did that, the final pass, or they were trying to go for a missed pass instead of taking it through hands, they were trying to overcomplicate things. The space was there because the space was made. Ratav is obviously going to take a lot of space as well, so there was space everywhere. But balls going to the floor, balls going straight out into touch, execution, and I just think it comes down to maybe a bit of rustiness, but a little bit just like miscommunication, I think, and not really sort of visualizing how they wanted to attack, which is tough. Um, but when it worked, man, it worked well.
What you said about Umaga, I agree with you. There were a few occasions where, like, he was, let's say, in the space, and then he decided to pass when he entered and join the line from behind, and then he decided to move, for example, the ball wide left, but he was able to get into that space between the two players because they were really up on the wide side, but it just uh, bring the pressure to another player on the line and make easier for the defense to tackle the player. So that for sure. And yes, so Dogu was let's say pretty good offering options. Then they were not taking those options.
Correct. That's the thing that annoyed me. That what they needed, Otto, is a bit of variation, right? Every time they went out back, right? Ha, just how Manu Tuolangi was used for England. Eddie would always make him take the first two carries, just so they knew, just so they knew that they can't afford him any space. Do that and then play it out back all you want, but at least put a couple in just to give some hard lines there. But yeah, that for me, I think is. But I will say, right, I quite like the Dogwood at centre. I know, like, out of all of this, defensively, he needs a lot of work and stuff. Obviously, he's out of position or position that he hasn't played in a few years, and that shows.
That's
But
true.
I like that crash ball option. I love it.
What was good to see, like it was pretty predictable, but probably something that can work can be these the three players that took the ball different times. They were Ratave, Odogu, Faso, Ratave, Odogu, Faso, Ratave inside the field trying to absorb more players, shocking players to move the ball. So give the ball to the big guys or to the hardest guys to bring the more and move the ball forward. But then, of course, when there were so, let's say, many opportunities, Mike, where probably they should have been better, at least covering also the ball carrier, because we are having in certain situation of this game where there was the ball carrier alone and nothing
Yeah,
else around.
isolated.
So isolated in that way, and we're gonna see a couple of I have a couple of turnover situation where this happened. But let's dig quickly into the stats. Of course, it's not the best game at all because 47-13, less possession by Treviso, less in everything. Something that really
Oof.
mental is that these 37 defenders beaten and the
15
15
clean breaks.
by the
Oof.
by the Ulster. So shout out to them because
Yeah.
they did really well finding this opportunity. But we were also slow getting in on their feet, and this is when you have a team that try to play pretty, I would say, pretty average wise. Like there was nothing so wild like, oh, look what they're doing. No, they were playing well, basic done well, nothing that so shiny, let's say. That was something. And then of course you have 37 missed tackles that goes with 30, how many? There were 37 defenders beaten. So they were also the tackles there. Tackle success really low, and of course the turnover lost, 10 turnover lost against the 7 by Ulster. But of course they scored, and they had the opportunity to get the points. Something that was so hard for Treviso is like a long story for Treviso, not being able to score points when they get into the opposite 22. That is probably the key. Line out went well. A couple of issues with the scrum. I don't think so because also with the on-fed scrums, also with Amino worked well. There was one in the at the end of the second half really good. From there they get the 3 points. Penalties not that much, 9, same as Zebre this week, but it's not. it's not enough, Mike, at this level against the team like Ulster that is playing well. In the preview, we managed the stats of both teams. They attack more, they score more tries. I mean, the game went in the stats direction, no, and also because away we know the history of the away games by Treviso. I wasn't expecting this result, to be honest.
No, I don't think it. I don't.
Five
I
game,
didn't think it to be that much.
no. Sadly, no, Mike. I will show you a couple of images so we can discuss on the specific situation. Literally only on turnover one with Odogu, a couple on Lamaro. That probably we should have been faster understanding what was happening around. Because come on, you cannot leave players alone. Even Aminu, when Aminu got injured, he was alone in that attack. So what is wrong there? The shape of attack or the decision? For me, are the decision the problem in this in this situation? But let's go.
Yeah,
You tell me yours too, please.
yeah. For me, I think it's tough because obviously, if you make a line break or if you make yards right into contact, assuming that it's communicated, the onus is on the supporting players to then get there in time. Obviously, if it's miles out of the shape of attack and someone, like you said, has just made a really shit decision to go, that's different. But unfortunately, I think it's tough because we don't know what's. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It's really tough to analyze.
Let's and see this situation. I'm gonna start with this one here. With this is Ratave running
Laterally.
around the field, but this is early in the game. I took a couple of situations from the first half and second half, so we can see. Like in this case, everybody's looking at Ratave, which decision he's gonna take. Of course, he's gonna always bump, even with the ball under the his arm, something not good for take for rugby school. Let's say you never go like that, but it's a classic. But look at here. Uh, Lamaro is close, but he just bump on other two players, and of course you're gonna lose the ball and a penalty just outside their 22. First situation to see this is something that happened. So alone and a little bit late both supporter because Amino is
Yep.
still standing up.
Yep.
I just took five quick example on this. So we can see another one. Good break. We get the ball here, but then again, quickly tackled by Tom Stewart. Lamaro Lagolo goes down, and as you can see, Mr. Rhino Smith is a little bit.
Expecting the offload.
Yes, absolutely for that. But here too, they are fast. Look Bernasconi in this situation seems a little bit too slow
Passive.
to understanding the threat. Passive, that's the word. Because look, it seems like he's slowing down to get to understanding where to go. But here, both him and Zilocchi, they have to go there. There is
I don't want. I don't want to go there, but there is something wrong with this picture as well, right? This particular one, which is you have to give both teams a clear landing, right? Like you need to clear the pathway so that they can compete for the ball. They're obviously their tackler. If you look,
yeah, stand up
isn't
there.
right, and also like they're already in a position. Like it's tough, isn't it? The ref's looking at it though. Yes. See, this is good stuff. Exactly that, Otto. Like he stood up and he's now impeded to clear.
Yeah, we cannot
Love that.
go under here because
Yes.
the idea is to go under in this
Yep.
situation. But of course, if there is a guy, I cannot, let's say, bring this guy down. I have to win here because this guy is on the floor. You cannot play him,
Yep.
right? But of course, he has to be better. But still, we are late also in this decision. Also, to
For
point,
sure.
kind of issues here because both players are on, and then is
Yeah,
the number 12 getting the ball.
yeah.
Another occasion. This was like a turnover and then a turnover against us. We lose the ball. This is pretty similar to the Aminus one. Under pressure.
There's a
So
gap there. Nice.
there is a, yeah, you see the gap. Where is the
Yeah.
gap, Mike?
That massive gap middle there. Yeah.
Is here, right?
Nice. For those of you guys who can't see the wizardry that Octavio's doing right now, get yourselves on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, Otto, this is
Check
good.
on
This
you.
is really good stuff.
So you expect this player to go here, which is Lamaro, or fix this
Behind the
defender,
ruck. Yeah,
this guy, the first one,
yeah,
and maybe you can push in with a flat Kinji into space. Okay.
yeah,
So in that way, also the third player standing can enter inside.
yeah,
But this is not happening. It's not happening because here we have Lamaro showing that opportunity to Kinji to attack on his right, but he goes down. And look, they have two players easy to put down in this case, and Kinji is late again because the
yeah.
prop can go in position again, and also Kinji doesn't enter completely from the door, let's say from
No,
the gate,
that
and
was great defense from them. Like that's
yes,
brilliant defense.
because the Timone chop is really good, number 7.
Yeah,
Chop in a way that is already put the player into position for the juggler from the inside. So really well done, but still, why he goes alone there? And then Aminu, if I'm correct. Oh no, no, sorry. Aminu is the next one, if I'm right. But this is Odogu also here.
look at that
So
space.
yeah, and he got the space there.
Mm,
He can create something moving. In this case, probably the best is just to try to go literally around and fixing Balokun
yeah,
here because you want to create also that eye contact with him to
yeah,
release this player down here. But anyway, he got half tackle because he's trying to do that.
yeah,
Just a quick, and here is another urgency situation because he's been tackled, so
yeah.
he's going to slow
Someone
down
needs to get there. Yeah,
exactly. And, but what's going to happen here? Guess, Mike?
knock on.
No, better than that.
Turned over from. Okay, nice.
Okay, turnover. Probably
Good
Mendy
D
would have
from them
been.
again. That's lovely D though. Like as much as as much as yes, we need to be better as well. Like credit to Ulster. That's beautiful.
Yeah, two players, they got the ball. Fantastic
Yeah,
work. Yeah, one slow
yeah,
down, the other one tackle.
yeah.
And then another one. Just put this. Let's see if it's the Aminu one. Why save it in another? Okay, here attacking by Rhino Smith, ball on the right, and same pretty similar occasion with the one with Lamaro before, because
Mm,
here again, ball to the player standing, which is Aminu. This time is alone. Bernasconi looking around. Drago behind, just looking for ball on his right side, but Aminu getting into contact. And again, one tackler, then we can talk about that tackle if it's a tackle, but still, look where
he
is
comes
that.
off injured here, doesn't it?
Yes, he got injured here, but look where is Bernasconi in this situation. How late is also Drago to read
Good
this?
D. Like, I mean, listen, like that again is textbook, right? The Jack Claw, like his body position, the anticipation of like the landing as well, like in terms of where the tackle's going to land, like all of that. Ulster are a really good team. Like that's one thing that I really want to stress. Those of you guys who are really upset about this result, because there are a few of you. Like it's not like we're playing a bottom of the league team. Like Ulster are a good team. They were unaffected for the most part from the internationals. Like they are a good team. And what Otto was just showing there from on YouTube for those of you guys are watching is some really high quality defensive work. Like obviously you can argue the toss on some of the decisions as you can on every single ruck, right? But what they did there was really impressive. And yes, we need to be better. I 100% agree. 100% agree.
Let's see. Do you have stats about how many cards are given per game in the URC until now? Watching rugby has become like waiting for a card. Sometimes looks like it for some cards because we saw a lot of cards. Let's think about also the Zebre game, or talking about the Italians, the red card with Todaro during the early during the game
Yeah.
in the Premiership. But I can check on this, Lorenzo. I can check on this because I have just to look through all the match center and check the cards. But I'm gonna try to ask also some friends if they already got this kind of stuff.
You,
But
one thing, I just want to have a quick chat. You know where Lamaro was attacking the space there, and maybe this is like a league thing, right? But you don't really see it. You see the odd like um, when people go into multi-phase, when teams go into multi-phase and they attack like the pillars out of rock, right? So for those of you guys who don't know what I mean, there's going to be two defenders at the ruck. If you hit weak shoulder, it entices the next player to come in short. Obviously, what I would have seen is if he attacks behind the ruck, if because obviously we were trying to get to the edge really quickly without earning it. Ironically, that's one of the times where it would have been absolutely perfect to hit once behind the ruck, tighten the defence, let Ratave do what Ratave does, and just pass out wide. Little things like that are just, again, experience again. Yeah, but also one other thing, and I'll stop on that. The same
no,
the
no,
same
go.
scene that you shared, we set up to attack on the left hand side. If you look, there's shape on the left hand side, right? So one of two things, right? Make a decision to attack behind the ruck because then the supporting play is closer, or try and get an offload. Those are your two options there because, like you said, you can get isolated either way. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm done.
Mike, talking about the players,
Yeah.
let's dig a few minutes into the players. What's your thoughts on the youngsters? Because this was the game of the youngsters. Aminu, Gallerini, Marini. What about Dragodogu center? You say something about him, but also tell me more if about Pippo Drago. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so let's start off with Amino. I thought Amino was great. Like he offered himself in to carry. You know, he tried his best defensively. Again, we spoke about timings. We spoke about like position. So position both in attack, position both in defense, protecting the ball. But that's not on him. That's a, that's an accumulative effort, right, for people to be doing that. But yeah, listen, like he is a prospect. We really do hope that he didn't come off injured, like severely injured off that tackle. So fingers crossed on that. He's a good player. Like again, I said, in the preview, I was going to keep a close eye on him. Very impressed with what he's done. Like I said, he's young. The defensive stuff, the rugby IQ stuff will come in time. We've got to remember props come into like their prime, 28, 29, 30 years old. Now it's just for him to understand how they want to play, what his position is, what his roles are, and do what he does in the scrum, which is good.
Mike, the next Fischietti.
Similar, but Fischetti's just like he's unique. I mean, there's not really, I can't really think of a loose head. Maybe Genge is the closest to Fischetti in terms of like, but then they have uh, different strengths, right? Genge is like a monster, carrier in the loose. Fischetti's got that lovely like agility and like that footwork to find the weak shoulder and to contact. There's I don't know. Aminor's like he's different. He's just different. He's good at carrying. He
It's
makes
more a cannonball kind.
yes.
I mean,
Yes, exactly that. Exactly that. He's more of a trying to think now who I can make a comparison to. He's more of a
so,
Nicola Mas.
eh,
I'm joking. Oh man, I used to love Nicola Mas as well. He used to be like He was a cannonball. He was an animal. But yeah,
Fischetti against scrum match. Well, Aminu did well in the scrum for this game, of course.
yeah, yeah.
And also, he gets better and better with the time. Fischetti. If you compare Fischetti 2-3 years ago and this 2025, even 4 years ago, you see how grow in this part of the game.
And I'll just to your point with Gallerini as well. Great when he came on. No complaints there. The one thing that I do think is really important though, and it's the centre partnership. I think I quite like a dog at centre. Actually, you know what? Like to the point where I would say I almost want him to be on the 23 for that role, like Marin does. I just think if he's going to play that role, he needs a distributing 12. He needs someone like Marin there as a distributor to take that onus off him at 12. But yeah, there's something there with a dog, mate. There is something there, and like I said, I always thought that was his best position at Wasps as well.
Yeah, you said the way pass. A couple of times he pulled pass, but he completely turned his
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
It's not
Losing the
flat.
dynamism and not fixing anyone. I understand.
That can be something more. Um, Mike, Treviso will play Lions in South Africa for the Challenge Cup. How is gonna be this team? The one that McRae is gonna pick for this game.
I think McRae's still trying to like embed his philosophy in his attack. I think we're going to see a full what we consider a first team, assuming that they're not stood down still, right? Assuming that the standout, excuse me, assuming that the standout was only a week. I think we're
Right.
going to see, what we would perceive the first team players are. The Argentinians back, the Italians back, and he's going to want to try and really bed in, how he wants to attack, how he wants to defend, what the coaching philosophy is, because he's only had 6 games to do it, 7 games if you include the preseason, 8 games if you include the game, during the international windows. He hasn't had much time to do it, so I think he wants consistency.
Last a couple of things about Benetton because there are some rumors, speculations about two players. Let's say
Yeah,
on one side there was this interview by Rhino Smith that he can send a letter to Rugby to see if it's possible for him to wear the Azzurri jersey, despite having those 7, 8 games with the Blitz box. So the South Africa 7, which lock player, cap player for the national team.
yeah.
Your thoughts on this?
I think Smith's a great player, and if this was an option, years ago, I'd love that. But I also think similar to, and we have to bring it up as well, like similar to Van Rensburg in England doing something similar. I feel like it starts making a mockery of the eligibility stuff now. The eligibility is there for a reason. I understand that people who are very young in their career may not necessarily understand the ramifications of getting capped for a country that they may not necessarily. I understand all of that, but it's there for a reason. So for me, I would love Smith to stay on as a coach, and because clearly his rugby IQ we don't have in Italy. Like there is something there. Like I said, if he was eligible for Italy, he'd already be playing for us like for years now. Um, I just there's something that he can contribute to Italy, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be at fullback. Although there would be space for him if he qualified.
And let's put also the banner, the lower third as it's called, from Smith to Smith, Rhino to Jean Smith. Jean Smith is we were messaging last night on the Fratelli di Rugby chat, but also today came out on rugby and everything because in South Africa they were talking about the Jean Smith, Franco Smith son. Probably he will join Benetton Treviso next year.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering, is he Albornoz leaving Is it Garbisi coming back? Look what I'm putting you there in
Hmm.
the scenario. Garbisi for Albo. Garbisi is going to take more money. Now he's going to take the money that probably they don't want to give to Albornoz so they can manage with the national team the game time for this player until 2027, and then after that getting a new contract in France, which is possible for him. Jean Smith is going to be the next step with, of course, Marina as a center, seen as a center, and Umaga. I don't remember if Umaga how many years
Extended.
extended, but
He did, yeah.
they probably need somebody else because Umaga will stay fine, but we have to grow somebody there. And Jean Smith, yes, he was Springboks under 20, but he's also born in Treviso.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, you know what? It's a really exciting and interesting question you ask, and I think from my side, there's sort of two thought processes. If Garbisi comes back, the battle for time in the 10 jersey between him and Umaga is going to be really interesting because they're very different players. The same way Umaga and Albornoz are sort of slightly similar but still different players. Like Garbisi is very um, organized and like methodical about his attack, right? Whereas Umaga, I think, does play better when it's more instinct based, like Darre Garbisi type argument, right? Um, but like you said, 4 weeks ago, or whenever we played South Africa 3, 4 weeks ago, we saw that side of Garbisi where that we didn't necessarily see before. So like developing more of an instinctual play to the line, playing that sort of rugby. I think he can learn a lot from Umaga. Um, so
Interesting.
yeah, I would love that. I would love that. And listen, John Smith, like you said, he's Italian. He's an Italian that's representing the box under 20s age grade. So yeah, listen, bring him back home. That's bring him back to the town that he was born. The same way we did it with Lewis Liner. Hey,
Right. Let's bring the boys back.
let's
Let's
bring the
bring
boys
the
back.
Fioi back, we should say. Anyway, let's move to the Zebre. But of course, before moving to the Zebre game, quickly reminder, guys, if you're a coach, if you coach kids, young guys, boys, and everything, go on flowfieldsport.com. The code is Coach Otto. You have a 60% off on a lot of good stuff. I'm going to show you quickly just the when you enter into Flowfield Sport in the dashboard, what you can do, you can live tactical mapping, you can create maps, set piece, you have your own library plus the shared library on the cloud, the GPS mapper you can create with the Flow Clip Studio clips, and of course you can map training simulator your players. What does it mean? That you give them a code, a QR code, they get inside the software, and they can play with their phone as a joypad. So try Flow Field Sport and check for a good offer. 60% off. Coach Otto is the code. Use that. Mike, oof. So first half good for the result for Treviso. They were ahead. Second half completely trashed. And then there is the Zebre game against Cardiff. Where there
Yes.
was the first half, there was in the name of Mole, to mention an Irish rock band, in the name of Mole, but this was Cardiff. But still, what was wrong in the first half for Zebre?
Discipline, not good in the air. Giving easy meters. Discipline for
Yellow
me
card.
was the in the first half. Discipline was terrible. Let's be honest. Making um, making rash, low percentage decisions in not the right areas of the pitch. So if you're going to make a low percentage and it's in their 22, it sucks that you might lose that attacking platform, but doing it in your own 22 gives them an attacking platform in your 22, right? So things like that, that's really sort of what really pained me because then obviously pinned pressure They were playing rugby in the wrong areas of the pitch. Pressure, kick to corner, easy kicks to corner, repeated penalties, yellow cards, and like you said, more tries. That's the story of the first half. I thought.
This week was really hard to gain territory, going to play in the opposite 50s for the Zebre in the first half. And there were those mistakes around high ball, also position wise, because a couple of times the kicks behind the Pani, you see, was struggling, at least with the body language, with his face when they were kicking behind, because maybe he was expecting them to play the ball, but they prefer to kick behind. And let's play there. Let's play in their own. They're gonna kick us back the ball, and we're gonna attack. So that for sure was something they have to fix. And also because Michael, well, we're gonna see in a bit, but next games are really important if we look at the URC, but also in the Challenge Cup for the Italians. Um, Two words on Farias. What is he getting into the URC?
I think
Do you understand how it works?
yeah, it's like I mean he's played a few games, right? You can see that he's inexperienced,
Not enough.
but
Not enough
mm,
games.
right, exactly, and that's the point, right? He could very well be like it's one of those things where you're imagine you're doing a puzzle piece, you're getting like the corner pieces, right? So you've got like the corner pieces now, and you can see start understanding how it's going to fit together. It's not quite there, right? Because he needs to piece some of those bits together. But I mean, listen, he can pass, he can tackle, he can kick, right? Like he can do that accurately to more than some of the fly halves that we have at URC level. So give him time. I think he's going to be URC level. I just think it's interesting that they're playing him over Montemauri, which means that obviously Brunello sees maybe more potential, maybe he sees something different in training.
Training.
Maybe Montemauri's slightly injured and we're not aware, or even though he wasn't appearing on the injured list. There's questions there to be asked, isn't there? Really?
Farias is bland, says Phantom. On the other side, Josh generally say we play poorly. I think it's more this, to be honest, the poorly. Let's think about, for example, Nocera when he came in and he lost the first ball into contact, knock on in the opposite 22. But I have another question, Mike. What do you think about Mazzeruisen, Mazza playing on the flank those few minutes and joining a line-out mall, playing in the
Yeah, I mean, listen, like we need to have
Mazzeruisen.
players that do that now, right? Like, you know,
You need it because think about also how was the idea of the team, the split of the bench. Something happened, you have to put there because, of course, we saw Ferrari playing lock, which I think I always said that Ferrari, Zegor for me are two locks. They
yeah,
can play
yeah,
lock really well. They should play lock,
yeah.
but still,
Um,
is that game that please?
no, I was going to say, yeah, no, go ahead, because we'll talk about the second
No,
half
it's
as well.
one of that game that you expect much more. We saw that from Treviso, but we know he's away. I honestly was expecting much more from the Zebra this week because was the home games. They are so important, and also some player that went so great. You should check where they fold and tackle inside and they leave the space outside. Not only the try count. Dear Phantom, talking about Zanon. Zanon did well. Couple of times he scored once, not good. The second one was good, but still, there is always something, and those spaces cannot be left out as other players do. Huh? If we want a 12 to play back row and in a mall, can we bring back Mori?
Been
It's
saying it for
always
years, mate. Morty
use
at
a
8.
Muro before.
Put him at 8, mate.
No,
Bastero did it. Put him at 8. He'd be great at 8. Let him make him not worry about like the backs plays and just get him to run into walls. Like let him do that.
So I say no, but I can see better Morisi than Mori. Talking about Mori, si, Mori no. Mori no, Morisi si. Morisi can play there. The quality on in the breakdown is. Then I'm gonna watch after we finish this. I'm gonna watch Bayonne Lyon. So I will check on Mori
Nice.
tonight. How it went, but and they won finally. They won a game home again. But let's see how it's gonna be on this.
I want to talk about the second half though a little bit, to be honest, because the first half I agree was poor. The second half, right? They were camped for 3/4 of that half um in the Cardiff 22, and question after like, how is it that they found themselves in the right position of the pitch with the lion's share of the possession in the second half, and they struggled to score?
How? Because we were not dominant to put in the ball out, and they were always start and stop in the situation where you have just to go, go, go. Like to mention something we said before between me and you, like look like sometimes the engine was off in the game, despite you were there, but the engine was off. So you need much more quality, more speed. And here comes also the situation with the nine, let's say 9 and 10, how they work. Because Prinsloo, we mentioned in our chat, but it is still struggling with the language, seems like. So it's something hard when you have a nine that maybe didn't get the right word and something that is some. But also,
Yeah,
Foucault was the first game back after injury. So uh, hopefully gonna get better. But if another injury came, of course you have to trust Dominguez and Prinsloo in case one of the, let's say, the first two starting bench, starting and finisher, then put it how you want, Garcia and Fusco, they're gonna be for the rest of the season.
do you think Zebre like have a tendency of overplaying? And I mean
Oh,
that, and I'm looking back
for
in the
sure,
past as well, right, where
for sure.
they concede a couple of quick tries, and then the games that they perform really well, the games that they get a few early tries, and like they have the confidence and they're not overplaying, and you know,
No, no,
do you
I
think there's
agree.
an element of that?
Sometimes it's so they're changing the chip uh, in the software, right? In the
Mm,
hardware, they're trying to get better, both software and hardware. But sometimes seems like to do something really okay. Let's do pass, pass, pass. Try. It became so hard. We have to think something more. We try and offload more than it should be. That happening with Zebre.
yes,
They understood how to not concede early in the game, scoring tries, so they build on that confidence, and from there they can try to play and score and be lighter, okay, with the pressure. But other times in past times was okay. No matter what, we can play because no matter what, the result is almost gone because they were always down with a lot
yeah,
of try on their shoulders, on their back. So
yeah,
from there, Mike, they still have to be sharp in the decision, in the action, which means keep that ball, don't pass that ball, do that clean out really well, don't concede penalties also in attack because this is happening
yeah,
also in Zebre a lot. Those are the situation, Mike. They are growing. I mean, the development is there. But if you
yeah,
think they concede this week 8 defensive penalty, but still 5 attacking penalties, well, that sucks
yeah,
because means
yeah, yeah,
Treviso in
yeah.
all of
I
these
mean,
only 3, but we saw the
yeah,
turnover, no? But
yeah.
uh, to
13's too many anyway. One thing I also want to say, Bertaccini, I don't know what positional change they made in the last 10 minutes. I assume it had something to do with the yellow card. I don't know what he did, but he was brilliant. Like whatever they did, whatever change tactically they did, and they just let him run like the overs arcs out the back. He was making yards, and obviously this is fresh in my mind for those of you guys who were just tuning in. I literally finished watching the second half just before we came on. The last 10 minutes, like if he had played that game, that
Before.
he played in the last 10 minutes before they win that game comfortably. Like he was making yards and easy yards, right?
Man, he
What do you
was
think changed?
free to move around. So he came inside,
Yeah,
but then he was a
yeah,
kind of 13 winger, more
yeah.
open. In that way, he
Like
was
how
able.
Ioane plays type thing,
Kinda, yeah, yeah. Let's say that.
where he's coming in, joining in round the back with the centres,
Exactly.
right, or coming in that way.
Yeah, it was not, let's say, obligated to be close with Mazza Zanon, for example, because they were there. So I can move around, even a kind of full because they had double 10, so he was the player that was moving around. So okay, I have the opportunity there, I go there
I
with
like that.
Farias Dare moving more organized. Okay, here we go do this, we do that. That is probably the difference in this. Let's read these two. Cardiff felt like a missed opportunity. If we play like we did at the start of the season, I think the walk away with the win. Yes, I agree with this. When Stabile
Horrendous
played
weather, by the way.
well,
If you hear that,
no, I didn't. But
good.
let's say. And here came, of course, the situation, Mike, for the upcoming European week: Montalban and Lions. If you were Mecre, you say already. If you were Brunello, how you approach this game against Montalban?
I mean, it depends how serious like they're taking the Challenge Cup, I suppose. But for me,
Money wise is the same.
sorry,
Money wise, they don't give you more money the challenge. So
I
just
think they're more interested in URC, to be honest, and that's just me being like this. It doesn't come from anywhere. It's just my guess. I think Brunello's going to take the opportunity to get maybe some questions answered. Um, he strikes me as the guy that would rather learn and lose from a game that maybe they care slightly less about than potentially go all out and risk injuries or that's the other side, right? Like Zebre, the players that they have are the players that they have, right? Like it's tough at the moment with injuries. It's tough at the moment with bans, and they can't afford to have another injury or ban in a key area, right? Like how many their injury list is massive. Um, so it depends how serious they're taking it. If they're taking it serious, we're going to see a full strength team, and that has risks, right? Um, I know that's not really an answer, Otto, like, but I suppose it's just dependent on what they want to focus on, you know.
I will focus on the 20 December more than the 6 or the 12 December against
Me
Montauban
too.
and against Montpellier. The two games. Let's see. Also, Josh was saying in the chat, Montauban is a huge match now to get out. Challenge Cup push going. I don't expect much from Montpellier, but all out against Montauban is a must. See how
So
different are the
I'm
perspective.
going to ask you a question then, Josh. Like, would you rather make the playoffs, or would you rather make the quarterfinals or semi-finals of the Challenge Cup? If you could choose, that's that. Obviously, you could say, "Oh, we're going to win the Challenge Cup," right? Everyone that gets to the semi-finals wants to win the Challenge Cup, but what would you rather?
What you
What would
think?
you? Oh, I'm going to ask you straight. Which would you rather? I know which one I would rather. As a Zebre fan, I know which one I would rather
Man, I
personally.
don't
But
care about the Challenge Cup to be
me neither.
honest.
Yeah, that's fine. We're aligned. The URC is the
Like
league that we play in, the
for
prestige
Zebre,
where we get the money.
I don't care about European. For Treviso, if Treviso wants to do the run to win the Challenge Cup, the Challenge Cup, I'm on it, but it has to be clever, strong mentality to reach that point, and probably with the full team, which is Albornoz, which is Gallo, probably something else can be done. And but they have to be sharp. They cannot just pretend, okay, because we did well last couple of years, now we're gonna reach the final. No, you have to fight because you can find whatever almost last position of the ladder of the Premiership, and you lose at.
Nothing is given, Otto.
At Kingsholm, you lose if you don't play properly. Correct? That's
That's
what's
right.
happening,
That's right.
right?
Like you underestimate. That's it. Like it's true, Otto. It's about
Underestimate.
respect. Yeah, it's about respect. It is. Yeah, for sure. and also I think that's what makes Zebre quite a dangerous team in URC, right? It depends. Listen, like what Josh replied, he said Brunello also commented about breaking playing time with the idea of the derbies afterwards. We would need to put out a full squad to see sort of which players in mind for the derbies. Basically, what he's saying. And then he answered saying, "Yes, I want URC more, but it's more a case of getting the players' game time ahead of the derbies." Yeah, this is what I was saying. So I think Brunello is the kind of coach that would want to learn more from these two games than necessarily win them. That's my opinion on Brunello. That doesn't come from anywhere. That's just my opinion on what he'd want to do. I think he's more interested in maybe taking some smiles off some Venetians, if I'm honest. So that's where I think he's going to focus.
Let's say we should see, from my perspective, like Zebre, how the French team usually does with the Challenge Cup. The first games, all the kids in, all the youngsters, or if you need players to get ready for something else. So it's gonna be interesting more how is gonna build Brunello the team in these two games. Brunello and the staff, like who needs to get in. So we're gonna see Fusco. We're gonna see the Garcia probably back on this situation. Maybe there's gonna be a space for Carrera in the next game. Pitinari, let's see what happened with his back two after that head-to-head contact, whatever it was, but it was low. So
Yeah, he
as
couldn't
you
go
said,
anywhere. Yeah,
come on. How Nocera is ready to, because some of the players anyway they train with a high level, which is a national team, at least mentally more than physically, because with the national team you don't push that much.
do you think we see
The
Faisal?
Faisal can be, yes, Batista Faisal can be a couple of pair that can go there. Maybe they're gonna play Montemori 15 too in this with
See, I
Farias.
want to see Pani at 15. I want him to. I want to see confidence in the aerial ball because they need him. Like that kick where they scored in the first half was stunning. Right, they need him. They need that on the pitch, but they also need him to be good in the air. So, it's one of
Let's
those,
see.
isn't it?
And a player that I want to see more and more is Odiase. For example,
Yes,
we mentioned he was good in that break. He was targeted by the defenders, double tackle, as you said
double
before we
tackles every
start
time.
the podcast. But he is the player that I want to see more. Maybe against Montpellier, we're gonna see Bianchi if it's fit. We I want to understand how long some players they have to until they get ready. Also, because Mike, I'm gonna show you. We know what is coming because the 20th of December they're gonna be the derbies, the first of the two ones. But man, this year, if we were mentioning like it's key the round six, well, round seven and eight, they are to a must-win game if we look at this, Mike, because we have Zebre Parma with 10 points, Benetton win 9, 11th and 12th position. So if one of the two teams win, he got 10 points on the opposite team, literally. If Benetton wins, they gain probably 9 points on Zebre. If Parma wins, they get 10 points on Benetton. So get so wild and so important these games for the Italians, much more passion than I don't remember another situation like this so close in the last years. There wasn't.
Maybe 20. Was it 2020 when they had that good run? Was it 2018? I can't remember. But
We're talking let's say before COVID, kind of.
yeah,
So that's
yeah. Not after COVID for sure. No,
yes.
never. It's a good opportunity for them to make sort of a stand as to why they are the national franchise. They're not just the Venetian franchise. They are the national franchise, and it gives a good opportunity for people maybe to start building on those narratives of rivalry and stuff. And I think it's important for the teams to improve that there is a rivalry and not pity from one team to another. They need to be worried of each other. And I'm hoping that we see that.
Well, if we think like it ended up last year with that penalty in the last minute in one of the two derbies,
Right.
there is
First game.
also that they want to,
Yeah.
let's say, a kind of a revenge, a vendetta from one team on the other one on that. And then, of course, they know each other, and we know Gallorini will play one game, one game and one game, one with
Yeah.
Zebre in Cardiff.
just going to tear off. Just going to half time. He's going to tear off his shirt and take his shorts off, and he's got like a different one. But yeah, man, like
This
I'm buzzing.
This is true, actually, Phantom, because we have the Stormers first position 27, Cardiff 25, Munster, Ulster 24, 21, Glasgow Warriors. They lost a while. Yeah, I was not expecting a result like that. Scarlets, Glasgow, so Scarlets got points from the bottom of the league. Leinster in sixth position with Lions and Bulls right there. Then Connacht, Edinburgh, Zebre, Parma, and Benetton. The Sharks down, but oof, a lot to say, a lot to see. And let's see, watch our team with a third of the budget. Let's see if it's gonna happen, Josh. No matter what, it's gonna be a game for the derbies, but before the derbies, the European Cup with the Champions Cup and Challenge Cup. So probably we're gonna see a lot of our Italians playing for the challenge. Talk about Northampton, just to say one, just to say two Capozzo, just to say another one. It's gonna be Pagerello and Ioane,
Do you
and
think
that's
with
the
with,
Exeter.
with Todaro? Do you think there's probably? I assume he's going to get cited though, isn't he? So probably
It's
be out
not,
for a couple of weeks.
man. I don't think more than 1 week, to be honest. Then I don't
Yeah.
know what is the framework about that. I didn't check. But
No, me neither. Yeah, it's not a
what do
tackle.
you
That's the thing. So he can't get
what do you-
mitigation from tackle score.
what do you think about the red card? Because with Phantom, we spoke a little bit in the Italian chat, but tell me more about you. For me, it sucks, but still is a
It
red
is a
card.
red. Yeah, it is. Like, listen, the other player was like in a much better position to catch the ball. Was he in a realistic like even if that player wasn't there, would he realistically have caught it? No, I think he underran the ball.
He should
It's
have
a red.
jumped, Mike.
He should have jumped, of course. And it's not the first time actually. So we saw that against Calori as well and
Oh,
Saracens. Um,
that's true. Good shot. He was standing and he got the penalty against because Calori jumped on him in the air.
basically over him. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. It's inexperience. It's not, and it wasn't reckless. It wasn't intentional, but it's a red card. That's
Well,
the way it is now, mate.
that's it. Guys, let us know what you think about this Todaro red card if you watched the game Northampton Saints.
I'll say Riccioni had an amazing game.
Riccioli, great game.
Yeah, great game. Good defensively, worked his arse off around the park. Unlucky to lose that game. Well played, Bath. That was a good game for Riccioni. Though I think that's probably the best I've seen him play for Saracens.
So it seems like he's on the right on the. It was on a good run after South Africa's game.
Don't know what's happened, but he's playing good rugby. Yeah, he's playing really good rugby. Not to say that he was playing bad rugby, but now he's
No,
now he's taking a step.
no, he's getting better and better, which is
Great.
something we need. As we know, Riccioni has a personal also scrum coach. He, with his girlfriend, there is a lot talk about being in the right spot with the mind,
Mental side, yeah.
so right mindset to get into injuries, to recover by injuries, to get fit, to get in shape, get ready to fight every game. So really, like he's working hard. You can see that
Yeah,
from him.
for sure.
Great. Anyway, guys, this was a really slow round six for the Italians because we are still there. We didn't move at all, but we move with the next games, and of course, then the derbies added on the 20th of December. Thank you to be with us also tonight, Phantom, Josh, Lorenz at the beginning too. And if you have any question, please comment, leave us and drop us a message. We are on
I think Otto was about to say, don't forget to subscribe either. So yeah, if you don't mind, costs nothing, helps us massively. Yeah, please subscribe. Yeah, guys, I think Otto's internet must have just dropped out, but just from our slot, thanks obviously for joining us. Yeah, I'm just sort of reiterating, like, subscribe. We've obviously got a goal that we're working towards on YouTube. So if you haven't, just please do take a couple of seconds to subscribe on there. If you guys are watching us on X, obviously um, we have a YouTube channel, so feel free to obviously join us on that side and listen. Just from us lot, just thanks so much. We've got some cool stuff that we want to line up in the next week or two. We're bringing back interviews. We're going to be doing some cool stuff on there. Just sort of making sure that we're getting our ducks in a row. So hopefully some lives with some cool content coming out, content that you wouldn't have seen or heard anywhere else as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to that as well. Anyway, bye everyone. Thank you for joining us.